What's up, hybrids? Welcome back to another episode of the Fandom Hybrid
Um,
Podcast. This is Hanako, and I am here with Dina, and we are discussing the return of House of the Dragon Season 3. It is here, finally, and we got a lot to say because woo, one thing about Game of Thrones, I don't care if it's regular Game of Thrones, if it's House of the Dragon, if it's a Night of the Seven Kingdoms, they don't play when it comes to their season premieres. They bring the heat. They literally brought the heat with this
nope,
one,
nope.
and they started off the season yanking our hearts out as only Game of Thrones can do.
Yeah, yep.
But we're not going to talk about that.
Mm.
Yeah,
And
we
you know
going.
what's funny? It's
Oh,
funny because they said that they were going to end last season with this war, with this battle. They were going to end last season with it, and I'm like,
mhm.
really?
Yeah. I think that's what it was supposed to be. I think this was originally supposed to be episode 9 of last season because remember the first season had 9 episodes, and then last season only had 8, and
Mm,
I think this season only
okay.
has 8. So
Ugh,
I guess they felt like we had enough death and destruction last season, and they were like, okay, you know what?
right,
We'll just put it off. Now I will say this. Having read part of the book, I haven't finished it, so I don't think I've gotten to the Battle of the Gullet yet in the books, but I had an idea of some of the stuff that was supposed to happen. I was not expecting the
right.
battle in the very first episode. I thought y'all were gonna give us a little buffer, one episode, and then give us the battle. I was not
Right, yeah.
I was not prepared, and it's like when they start when you get to the part with Daemon and Lord Oscar mentions the God's Eye, I was like, oh, y'all are mentioning this really, really early. What's going on? I was like, okay, so maybe y'all are telling us we're going to see that part of the story in this season.
Right,
And for the non-book readers, I'm not going to spoil it, but the God's Eye is also one of those big, big battles that takes place. So I'm like, okay, y'all are referencing that. Okay, cool. Then when Rhaenyra mentioned the gullet, I was like, okay, we know that that's coming, but I was like, they're setting us up for later on in the
right.
season.
Mm.
When we saw them at sea and that alarm started ringing, I was like, y'all are really gonna do this now, now,
Yep.
now. And then I didn't realize the
Mhm.
episode was a 72-minute episode, so I was like,
Right, because I was like, this feels like it's still going and going and going and going. I was like, oh, it's long this time.
yeah,
Okay,
I think they
okay.
said the sequence for the Battle of the Gullet was like 25 minutes.
I believe that.
So it was
Just
long.
over the just yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
It was long, and we really we didn't cut away from it too much. So it's
No.
like literally, and I will say watching it, I felt like when I watched the Battle of the Bastards, I felt like when we watched the Hard Home episode, it was just like
Hard.
I
Oh.
was sitting there the whole time like this, just
Woo!
looking. And then I knew what was gonna happen. And then they kind of faked us out a little bit. And I was like, okay, maybe they're making a book change. Maybe they're changing because they're famous for that. Plus,
Right.
they did change some key elements of the battle in the show from what it is in the book. Like there were certain people who were here in the battle on the show that didn't fight in the book
Right.
and vice versa. So I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna change that part of the story.
So I knew it was gonna not be too long, but for whatever reason, my brain had it in a different time period what was gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was just like, nope, it's not gonna happen this time because we got time. And then we didn't have time. We did not
Damn,
have
those
time.
like I feel like I couldn't even prepare. And it's like it's one of those things where you know what's gonna happen and you're
Mm,
still not ready. And
right.
it's just one of those things like it was and it was so beautifully done.
Yeah, it was
And it
so
was a
good.
gut punch. And I just okay, we're not gonna talk about that yet. We got to talk about some other stuff. let's talk about the smaller bits of the episode, because we
Right.
did get to see a lot of the major players, but we saw them kind of in pieces. Like the scene with Daemon was not very long. We only saw him
I
one time.
know. I've been waiting for my Daemon, and y'all gave me like 2 minutes.
Right. But I mean, he had a good scene. He
Yeah.
has his own battle. They're sitting there fighting
Start.
the Lannister forces. He comes
Yeah.
out, he's swinging, he's killing folks. I'm like, okay, this is Daemon in his element. You know, we get a little bit of a funny exchange between him and Lord Oscar, because
Yeah.
Lord Oscar is like, okay, well, we need to bury the Riverman. And what this
Burn.
he says, my dragon will make short work of that. Plus, burnt flesh leaves no plays.
Which is so smart.
It is.
You know?
It is. It is. But you know, the Rivermen have their ways. And Lord
Right.
Oscar was like, that's not our way. Like, Rivermen must return to the mud, which I get it. And you want to be
Yeah.
respectful of that. But y'all got a lot of dead people on them fields, and y'all got business to take care of.
We gotta go, buddy. We don't got time
We
for
gotta
that.
go.
But
And
let me
and
just
you can
say,
see Damon wanted to say something, and then all of a sudden there's movement in the woods. Now,
yeah,
as soon as I saw the movement in the woods, I said, "Oh, I know what this is." I said,
yeah.
"This is the Night's Watch soldiers coming." But I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna see," because they were chasing after Jason Lannister, because of course he saw the battle, tucked tail and ran.
This is
Listen.
they ain't all made like Jamie.
I was gonna I was gonna say, if Tywin
Ooh,
could
child.
see how his ancestors behaved, he would be
Both of
so
them,
ashamed.
twin cowards.
So you know what, Tylen, not so much a coward, but gullible.
Yeah, that.
Because
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
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 he's
yeah, yeah,
gullible.
yeah.
But
That's
anyway, so Jason Lannister, you know, he and his people are on the run. But here come these soldiers, and Daemon and, you know, the Rivermen, they're ready to fight. And then,
yeah,
of
man.
course, you see the soldiers come out, and he's just looking. Then you see the Stark banners, and I
The
was just,
Stark banners coming through. Get it,
you,
Bannerman. Get it.
listen, you
The
will never
winter is
get me to hate
coming.
a Stark. You will never get me to hate a Stark. And it's like,
Never, never.
you see them, you see them in Game of Thrones. Ned Stark, Robb Stark, just honorable men. But you know, the Starks traditionally
Yeah,
are
are good.
are good. So
Yeah.
it's like when they came out, yes, because I've been
Yeah,
Team
I got
Stark.
pretty hyped. I'm gonna tell
So
you what though, I looked and I was like, bruh, we are no longer in the north. Take off all them clothes. What y'all got on? Y'all got on bearskin? Are you kidding me right now?
but I mean, but look, they came out those woods. They had a little bit of blood on them and nothing else. So
Yep.
those skins are probably thick. They had on their
Yeah.
armor. And as soon as old boy started walking through the crowd, and I looked at his hand, I said, "Oh," I said, "He got that
Yep.
Lannister head in his hand."
He do.
He looked
Goodbye,
around.
Jason.
He looked around. He was like, "We are here to die for the Dragon Queen," and threw that head to Daemon. Yeah. I was like, "Okay, this is
And
feeling like Game of Thrones now."
Damon was also giving Gary Oldman and Dracula in that beginning scene where he was just killing everybody up in his armor. And I was just
Listen,
like, yes, Matt Smith, give me. Cause
you know
woo,
what? And
oh
here's the
my
thing:
God.
Matt Smith, as a dark-haired guy, he's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, he's just never
It's
been my
something
thing.
about, because I've seen him in other things,
Yeah,
but it's something about the way he transforms into Daemon Targaryen. It's like, I'm really not supposed to like you, but I really love you. Like,
right.
he just he has that swagger, he has that confidence. And even in his moments where you see a little bit of vulnerability, because he had a slight, like, his facial expression changed just a little bit when he was looking to the woods, because he didn't know what
He
to
didn't
expect,
know. Right,
you
right. He
know.
didn't know who it was.
Right,
Yeah,
he didn't know that could have been enemies for all
yeah.
you knew. And granted,
Well, because the
he's
guy
not
did
gonna,
say that. Like he did say that. Like they were going to go to the next,
yeah, he was like
group of people to fight.
to
Yeah,
arms.
yeah,
Because here's the thing, he won't back down from a fight. But
nah,
you literally just got, like, you just got off from on top of somebody driving a sword in his armor.
Yep.
Y'all tired.
Yeah.
He was probably looking like, damn, I got okay, hyping himself up, like, okay, if this is what we got to do, we got to do. And it just happened to be your allies. So he was like,
Oh.
okay, we got to go find some more, let's go find some more Lannister men. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So now we're starting to get the armies together. So now it's starting to feel like epic. And this was before we even got to the whole, Battle of the Gullet stuff. Daemon got his army. And I love the way they kind of threw it in. And when Lord Oscar Tully comes to him, and he was like, I forgot what it was, but he was basically saying, yeah, we got him on the run. We're doing good. He says, my prince. And Daemon doesn't say anything. And I was like, that's a very nice, subtle way to kind of show that Daemon has completely changed his mindset from where we're in season 2.
Yeah.
Even
Well,
though,
once he
yes,
bent the knee, I guess he figured,
he was like, okay, you know what? I'm done. But it's like you see, uh, I feel like there is a shift and there is a change that you really can't see. Like he still commands and I don't even know if it's respect at this point from the other men because they really didn't like him at first, but we don't know what amount of time has passed.
right.
So it could still be respect, or it could just be, okay, you know what? This is a man of his word. Like we see he said he does what he says, and you got to give it to Lord Oscar Tully because he
Yeah.
was the one that forced that. But
Yeah.
there was a difference. And I like the way that they just kind of showed it subtly. Like it didn't have to be a big thing. It didn't have to be a declaration. It was just like, yeah, such and such, my prince. And Damon's just like, okay, well, we need to go fight. Okay. So we have established now, Daemon is now in that role. He is like, okay, you know what? I'm the prince. I'm the king consort. She's the queen. I'm good.
Yeah.
We go fight for my wife.
You gonna fight for my wife. Oh God, he covered in all that blood. I don't know.
Always.
I
I
feel it.
saw that little bit of that scene in the previews, like before the season premiere. And I said, here we go. Daemon all blooded up and whatever. Okay, I'm here for it though. Because I feel like that's one of the best parts of his character when we see him in that rage and fighting. And like I said, he just transforms into someone different. And it's just like looking at him different. You're just like, huh, hi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's given this Witcher Legolas energy like thing. I don't know. It's a little combination of all of that, and it's
I
just
like
like
it.
I love it.
I like it.
I like it.
I like it.
You know what's
So,
interesting about Matt Smith though is like he was on the Crown and he was Prince Philip,
mm-hmm,
and he had that same issue where he was gonna be the prince while she was gonna be the queen, and I feel like he brought that same energy to this role
mm-hmm.
because he
Yeah,
had already done it, but without the violence, right? Like he'd
right,
already done it. So I
right.
feel like he brought that same energy because oh my god, he was such a little one. I hated him so much. And then like he comes over here, but like it's hot. It's hot on this, you know what I'm saying?
It's the I'm telling you, it's the blonde wig. Because even when you look at the other actors, like Ewan Mitchell, who plays Aemon, he has dark hair. And
Yeah,
he's not looking good. But with the blonde wig, it's
it
something
changes
about
things.
the blonde wig changes them. And I don't
Yeah.
know what it is, but even with like Amelia Clark as Daenerys,
Oh,
even with
chef's kiss.
even like Henry Cavill as the Witcher. Like, yes, he looks good as a dark haired man, but something about putting that wig on it's
Yes.
just it's very transformative and it's very
Yeah.
hot and it's very sexy. And I don't know what that
I
is.
don't know. I don't know. It's just a thing I like. I
It
don't know.
it is
Because
it
that's not
just
even my type in like real life. But in these fantasy characters, like
yes,
it's hot. It's
yes, yes, because yeah, like you said, generally in real life, okay, I'm attracted to black men. And then when it comes to white men, dark hair.
dark
Like
hair.
dark
Dark
hair is
hair.
like,
Yes.
yeah. Now there
Ooh.
are a few blondes here
Yeah.
and there,
Interspersed. Right. Right. Yeah.
but like if you were to ask me, name the top 10 celebrities that you are attracted to or
It's gonna be
actors or
dark
whatever,
hair.
it's gonna be black folks and dark hair.
Yeah. Well,
But
yeah.
something
Yeah.
about in fantasy, because yes, even with Legolas, Orlando Bloom, hot as Will Turner.
When
Put
I
on that.
first saw him as Will Turner, I was so mad because I had seen Lord of the Rings first. And I was like, what is
Like,
this?
where is his?
Where, where's the blood here?
And see, I saw the opposite. I saw
Okay.
Pirates first. So,
Right,
and then that's his regular look. He has the dark
right,
hair.
right.
So he was good. He threw that hat on with the feather. I was like, okay, I'm here for it. Then when I finally sat down and watched Lord of the Rings, I was like, oh, and then he was an archer. Oh, that's
Girl. And
yeah. So it's something, I don't know, something about that blonde wig. And I think I've heard one of them. I think Amelia said it talking about Game of Thrones. She was like, it's something about when you put that blonde wig, it's almost like
change.
it's a transformation. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, but Daemon Targaryen, yeah, he was. So yes, but that's all we saw of him in this episode. So I was like,
Wait, like what? Oh,
right. Because once you get through the episode, you realize, wait, we only saw a couple of people in very small
yeah,
amounts. But
yeah,
I was like, okay, you know what? The Battle of the Gullet, that was a long, bloody battle. It
yeah.
was very vast. So, yeah, give it to us. Go ahead, break our hearts, and then let us get into the rest of it. Because the rest
Right.
of it is about to be really interesting. Speaking of blonde hair, folks, we gotta talk about Mr. Aemon One Eye.
Girl.
Because first of all, when she comes back to the castle and they tell her, the king wishes to see you, she's thinking, Aegon. She's
Right.
getting ready to head to his bedroom. And they're like, the throne room. She was like, what? And I feel like when she first saw Aemon on the throne, her thought was that Aegon had died.
Right. Yeah.
Like she
Yeah.
was trying to figure out what the fuck was going on.
Yeah.
And she's sitting there like thinking, because automatically this, even just seeing him on the throne, is throwing off everything that she just had this conversation with Rhaenyra about.
Yeah. Which y'all know it take y'all 30 years to get somewhere. Stop having these. Oh, we gonna plan this thing because you can't change the plan once you put it in motion.
Especially not with only 3 days notice.
Yeah, like I was like, there she go again, fucking shit up.
But you know what? And I will say this. I don't blame her because she really, I feel like she was really trying to come up with a solution to do this peacefully. I mean, when you get to the point, no matter how horrible your children are, that's still your children. So when she acquiesced to Rhaenyra and was like, yes, I'll give Aegon up,
Yeah,
that was a big thing for her. Because
yeah,
one thing we've always said about Alicent, she may have been a crappy mother, she may have been whatever, but she was always fierce about her children.
yeah,
So for her to say, yes, I will give him up so
yeah,
that you can take the throne, just let me and my daughter and my granddaughter leave in peace. Okay. But when she comes back and she sees Aemon on the throne,
mm,
and then she has to start calculating because he was like, yeah, Aegon left. He took that toad Laris with him. She's like, fuck. And then he's like, and where were you? We ain't seen you in a couple of days.
because he ain't dumb. I mean, he
He's
do
not.
dumb things, but he is not dumb.
He's not. But when she hesitated, I said, girl, you are hesitating too. You should
On
have had
your
that
toes,
lie.
man. On your
You should have,
toes.
right. Because here's the thing, if it wasn't Amy, it could have been somebody else. You should have had that excuse ready.
Like,
Ready.
did
Because
you not think
the
anybody
guard
would have?
outside could have asked you,
Hey,
where have you been? I mean,
right. We've been
she
looking for
probably
you,
right.
like,
When she sat there, she was just like a deer caught in the headlights. I said, oh, you know what? But she came up, she was like, I was in the Godswood. Amy, like, I haven't felt of use here of late. And you saw him kind of hold his head down in shame. I was like, okay. I said, for all his tough talk, he's still kind of sort of mama's boy, I feel like undercover. But then all the other stuff, because when she talks to him And she was like, okay, so, but you were supposed to go to Harrenhal. He was like, no, Aegon left. So now I got to protect the city with Vhagar, which makes sense.
Makes
But now
perfect sense.
she's got to figure out, okay, how am I going to do this? Because if Rhaenyra shows up and Vhagar and Aemon are still here, she's going to think I lied. Your life is
Yep.
automatically forfeit at that point.
Forfeit. And your everybody's lives, your children, your
Everybody.
children's children, everybody.
Yeah. So when she starts thinking and she sends this letter off to her cousin who was on the march with her youngest son and some soldiers, she was like, okay, I got to figure this out. And when Helena comes to her and she was like, did you know Aegon was leaving? Helena's just looking at her. And she was like, yeah, you scared? Are you scared? Aemon's
Yeah.
scared too. And she was like, I'm just scared because, Sir Crispy Cole and Sir Criston and Sir Gawain, they're out
Yeah.
there and they're expecting Aemon to
Helena's
come and help
like,
them. I was like, do you
you do know
realize
I'm a
that
seer,
your
right?
daughter is a seer?
You do know I'm a seer, right?
Like, I can
Okay,
tell when
mom.
your ass is
Okay,
lying.
girl.
But
Especially since she told you she knew why Aemon was scared, and that for a long time he wasn't scared. He didn't have fear, but now he does.
mm-hmm,
You know she know what you're doing. Like
right.
what?
Like, yeah, she was like, yeah, he knows if he faces Rhaenyra's dragons, he will die. She should have said, because I told him, because I saw it.
That part. But that's the other thing. They still discount that girl. They still did. They still do not listen to her. And I'm like, y'all ain't gonna never learn.
Right. But you know what? I think, though, that probably has something to do with Aemon's subtle change, because, yes, you can still see he still has the arrogance, he still has the confidence, but there is a little bit of vulnerability in him. There is a little bit more caution, if not much, but there is a little
Right.
bit. And it's because she literally told him, yeah, you burned your brother. I saw it. I saw you go to the God's side. I saw you fight and you got lost and you died. You died. And no one ever sees you again. I think that was what made him, when she told him about Aegon, yeah, I saw it. You burnt him.
Yep.
I think that's when he was like, you know what?
Well,
Maybe
I
I
better
need.
get in here and get some fun in while I can and be king while I can.
But then when Alicent goes later on and she's trying to talk to him to get him to change his mind about going to Harrenhal, because he's very steadfast. No, I need to be here to protect the keep. And honestly, yes, that's probably what you need to be doing. But we want you away from there so Rhaenyra can do what Rhaenyra needs
Do
to
what
do.
she needs to do.
Right. So when she's sitting there, she's plying him with his, she's, I think she's feeding his ego on the one hand, but she's making some confessions, because she was like,
Right.
part of this is my fault. She was like, I pushed for Aegon to be on the throne, but I never taught him what it
How to be
is
king.
to be king.
Yep.
Excuse me, that was your husband's fault, because he did the same
Also,
thing with Rhaenyra, because if the
yep.
Viserys had done what he was supposed to do as a father with heirs, we wouldn't be in this mess, because it would have been very clear to everyone that
That
Rhaenyra
Rhaenyra
is
was,
still
yep.
supposed to be the heir.
But I mean, honestly, we really talking about things. It was, what's his name, Jaehaerys' fault this all happened. Because he should have made Rhaenys the queen, because she was the one who was fit to rule, not
And she was
Viserys.
the one who wanted it. Viserys never
He
did.
never wanted it. That was the problem from get-go. So it's just like when you look back at all the mistakes, and then here come Alicent stirring the pot, making everything worse.
Mm-hmm. And then the other thing too, when all of this happened, remember, Aegon didn't want it. He was like, give it to Rhaenyra. He was like,
Yeah.
I don't want it. And then when you had the opportunity to give it to Aemon, because
Right.
Aemon was like, I'll take it. Just send him. He wants to go away. Let him go. Now,
But they're so stuck in these, oh, it's got to be the firstborn boy, and it's got to be
and
this.
it's
And
got
it
to be
don't
a
have to
boy.
be. It
Yeah.
don't have to be any of that, as
Mm-hmm.
you can see.
Right. Just let the best person who is fit to rule.
That's it.
But of course,
That's it.
this is why we can't have nice things. So Alicent, she does her thing. She talks to Aemon and she's telling him about, this is part my fault. You should have been king. And he's looking at her like, okay. And she does her little pleading. He walks over to the fireplace. So when she pleads with him to go to Harrenhal, because she was like, look, we need you there. That's
Right.
where you need to be, blah, 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 blah. I only was expecting what happened because literally like 2 or 3 hours before that, one of the media outlets posted an image of it and was talking about it because they get the screeners or something like that.
Right. They don't know how to
Are you
shut up.
giving spoilers before the episode even airs?
Yeah. They don't know how to just shut up and wait.
All of this stuff is like, I get it. Social media, people are trying to be the first to. We had this conversation about Outlander. We've had this conversation about other shows, but it's like it progressively gets worse and worse.
Right.
Like literally 5 minutes after the episode ends, House of the Dragon posts a picture of the okay. So we're going to talk about later, but posts Jace's character poster from the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And all these different outlets are talking about the death, but they're not like, they're literally putting it in the headlines. They're putting his picture on. People ain't stupid. We can figure this out.
Right.
So it's like for
right.
the people who are on the West Coast,
Yeah.
people
Right.
who didn't get a chance to watch right at 9:00.
Ugh.
You're spoiled before you even get a chance to get there because not everybody is a book reader. A lot of people didn't know. There are a lot of people who don't watch the trailers, who don't watch the promo stuff because they want to go in cold
and not know, right?
And be surprised. They want to be in the moment. And unfortunately, media fucks that up a lot.
Yeah. And it's
so
annoying.
I knew that kiss was coming.
Yeah.
Because one, even if you have a photo of them like this and not actually kissing, Aemon, why are you in your mama's face?
Why are you that close? Why are you that
close? Why are you in your mama's face?
In here.
So when he actually does lean over to kiss her, I'm thinking maybe he's going to kiss her on the cheek.
I was hoping because his head did tilt.
It did. And even though we are used to, with House of the Dragon, with Game of Thrones in general, we're used to certain aspects of incest because this is what they do. Yeah. And also in our real life, this is what they did hundreds of years ago. It was kind of a thing. Okay. We really haven't seen like parent,
mother's
child,
daughter, except for no, we've seen the parent child. It's just always a dirty old man, cause like Walder Frey and like Castor or what's his name?
Oh yeah,
Craster, whatever his name.
Yeah. So yeah, but we haven't seen it in that sense. Like
not in this sense.
We had the hallucination last season with Daemon and his mom, but also that was a whole different thing because Daemon never really knew his mom.
Right. Yeah.
And that was more so basically talking about his state of mind and his mommy issues as far as like, I'm the favorite son, but I'm because I'm the second son, I can't lead all of those issues. The thing with Aemon was weird and
so weird.
I think it really shocked me because again, for most of the second season, you get the idea that Aemon does not really care for his mother. Yeah. Like he's not heeding her counsel. He's cutting her off when she's trying to give advice. And Alicent, she has a point. She ruled in Viserys' stead when he was sick, when he was not doing well. And her father taught her what she needed to know. That's the important thing. She had the education that none of Viserys' kids got. Because Otto was like, okay, and maybe that's a highborn, low, not necessarily lowborn, but not royalty thing,
Right.
Alicent, she's highborn, but she wasn't born into royalty. So
Right.
Otto basically was teaching her, like, okay, look, these are the lessons you need to know to come up in the world.
Right.
You
Because
know,
that's usually who married the kings and queens was the
right.
ladies and the,
Mm-hmm.
you
The
know,
Targaryens, what do they need those lessons for? They're the rulers. They're the ruling
right.
class. So
And been
yeah,
ruling forever at this point.
yeah. So it's kind of like you look at Aemon and the way he treats Alicent in season 2, and it's just kind of like, oh, this is a dude who does not like his mother. And then he flips the script a whole 180 by
Mm.
doing this and giving her the kiss. And
Ugh.
Alicent is sitting there looking at him like, what the fuck did I
But here's
unleash?
the thing that bothered me is like it felt intimate so much earlier and she never moved. And I'm like, you could have been like,
She was probably scared because this is Aemon we're talking about.
I know, but there's no way. There ain't no way.
Yeah. And
Brother.
I saw one of the interviews that she did, and she said she feels like Alicent was, Aemon has always operated from a place of insecurity
Mm-hmm.
and not a lot of confidence because of the way he was bullied, because of the way the kids
Right.
treated him even before he lost his eye. So she said at that point she thinks Alicent was just basically like trying to see where this was going to go because she didn't want to flat out reject him and cause his mind to go, to spin out or cause him to crash out or react in anger.
Right.
She's trying to placate him so that he will do what she needs him to do, which is to leave King's
Right.
Landing and go to Harrenhal. So she's sitting there quiet. He does this little kiss and then he leaves, and she's looking like, oh shit.
uh,
Oh shit. Like, Alicent, if you haven't noticed,
yeah. Yeah.
when Aemon leaves, you need to get the hell out of Dodge.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that's not going to be easy for her because Aemon is probably going to have eyes on her, especially since not only have you left to go to the Kingswood once, but now with this lie you've told, you've gone twice. You just
Right.
disappeared for days on end. Nobody
Right.
knew where you were except for your sword. Yeah, Alicent is about to be trapped.
Yeah. And then it's not like he doesn't know that she honestly, even though she had her anger about stuff with Rhaenyra or whatever stuff, but like she clearly has a soft heart, like she's
And still a
clearly,
soft spot for Rhaenyra, yeah.
yeah. And so I feel like they know that, which is why he was like, "Where were you?
Right.
Where were you?"
But I don't know if I feel like he would think Alicent would go that far at betrayal, because I'm pretty sure if he thought that if he had any inkling that she would sell her children out for Rhaenyra, she would have lost her head right then and there.
I don't think he would. I don't think he would have took it as her selling them out, like, but maybe trying to broker peace, but not like a sellout. Like she literally went over there and was like, "Okay, I give you, I give you my son if we could just change and fix all this." But I
Oh
don't think
well,
he would do that. But I think
yeah,
her trying to broker peace so that they won't fight at all,
yeah.
which doesn't help his case because he wants power.
Yeah,
That
because
I,
honestly, yeah, because she didn't intend to give her Aegon at first.
yeah,
She
no,
was like,
no.
"Yeah, we can just do a yeah, we you can come in, you can take him prisoner." Rhaenyra was like, "Oh
No,
no,
bruh. A son
no,"
for a son, baby. A son for a
and
son.
not only that, she was like, I hate to say it, because of the actions that Alicent and her family took to
Yep.
put Aegon on the throne. Now
Yep.
Rhaenyra has to do what Otto told Alicent she was going to have to do. If
Right.
Rhaenyra gets on the throne, she's going to have to eliminate any
There's no
contender.
way. There's no way they can be alive.
If they had done it peacefully,
Right.
if they had let Aegon could have bent the knee to Rhaenyra and be like, "Look, I don't even want this shit. Just let me go to Bravos. Let me go to Essos. Let me go
Right.
somewhere. You can have all this. I don't want it." Aemon might have been a little bit different, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't be the shit show that it is now. if
Yeah.
y'all had just done what y'all was supposed to do in the first place. But now, because of the actions that you took, your father's words are going to come true. Yeah. Now she has to kill Aegon because he already took the throne.
And
So,
Daemon killed his son. So he can't let none of that slide. You know what I'm saying? Especially if he's trying to be king.
yeah. Or if she she can't offer him mercy or leniency because too much has happened.
Yep.
In all of that.
We are
If you just
beyond.
stayed your ass off the throne,
Yeah.
you might have had a chance. But no, now you usurp my throne and you're expecting me to show him mercy. Do
Yep.
you know the people would riot?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
anybody can take the throne.
I mean, and then I was just thinking about how easy it would have been for Rhaenys just to eat, just Melissa her just to go on and take everybody out, and we would have moved on from here. And she
Yeah,
just didn't. And
yeah.
I just, ooh, there's so
But
many bad decisions.
and you know what? I won't say necessarily it's bad decisions. One thing we learned from Ned Stark is that, and I hate to say it like this because it kind of gives you a skewed view of humanity, but in the world of Game of Thrones in Westeros, honorable men and women don't survive.
No.
They don't survive. Rhaenys didn't do what was expected of her. She didn't burn Aegon and them in the coronation or whatever because she was like, this is not my battle.
Yeah.
This was not an affront to me. This is something Rhaenyra has to handle because, again, well, okay, let's think about it. What would have happened if Rhaenys had torched the torched the coronation, gotten rid of all the high towers and that side of the Targaryens, and then Rhaenyra claims herself as queen? There are going to be people in Westeros, in the Red Keep, in Eagle's Landing, who are going to be like, well, but Rhaenys really should be the queen. And then that's going to sow discord there. And I think that's one of the reasons why Rhaenys did not do that. Because
Yeah.
she's like, we don't need that kind of discord. If I do take this action, that's basically going to tell people, oh, well, she was the one who acted. That's who we need to follow.
That's the real queen. And yeah, like you said, that people wanted to follow her anyway because they still calling her the queen that
That
never
never
was or
was. Yeah.
whatever. Yeah. But you just real I just heard you just said Eagles Landing. You meant King's Landing,
Oh, yeah.
but you
What I
said
say?
Eagles Landing. I'm like, oh, she just got real Atlanta just then. Wait. Oh,
But you
that
But
didn't
it's
feel right.
funny because when I do go past Eagles Landing, I do think King. That's
King's Landing.
funny. That's funny. So yes, I made King's Landing, not Eagles Landing. Eagles Landing is kind of near my house, so that's funny. But yeah, so Alicent is gonna have I think her being able to freely walk around the
Yeah.
castle that's going to be coming to an end because I think even if Aemon doesn't suspect that she went to go see Rhaenyra, he knows that she's not 100% behind them.
Right.
So,
Right.
especially with the way he's been treated, because he has been treating her like garbage. Hold on.
Yeah. I mean, because she specifically pushed for Aemon to be on the throne. I mean, Aegon to be on the throne, and he's always felt like he was better in that capacity than Aegon. And so, yeah.
And I mean, technically speaking,
and she only likes Helena, so
right. But yeah, so apparently, I guess Aemon is on his way to Harrenhal, and she's there.
based
So
on stuff that we might know that needs to be happen for future things, I guess.
because I was gonna say if he's going to Harrenhal now, then we already know that God's Eye battle is taking place this season. Yeah. Because there's no way this is only the first episode. You have a whole other 7 episodes for this season, and then next season is the last season. You're not
Okay, they're
gonna
definitely
hold that.
ending it.
Yeah, you're not going to hold that battle until next season, especially if Aemon is leaving in episode 1 to go to Harrenhal.
Right. I was
So
wondering. I was like, I feel like they. I was like, yeah, they can't drag this out because this is moving pretty
right.
fast.
Yeah,
So
I mean
yeah,
we got the Battle of the Gullet in the first episode.
first episode.
So yeah.
First episode.
But moving on, let's see where we're gonna go. Oh, okay. Well, since they're on my screen in the background, if I was Sir Gawain, I would be really, really worried about the fact that I'm part of a regiment where Criston Cole is at the lead.
Useless.
Because Criston
Useless.
Cole is basically, he is checked out. He's like, you know what? We all gonna die anyway.
We gonna die anyway. But also, like, he's telling you that your men are raping the women of the village, and all you got is we. What did he say? We're not beasts, or we are beasts. Well, I forget what
He
he
was like,
said,
oh,
but
we all gonna be beast by the end of this.
I'm just like, so what happened to that man was mad at the child taking his virginity, and now all of a sudden nothing matters to you? He just literally came to you and was like, hey, your boys is out here taking these village girls, and he was just like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think it's also interesting too, because last season, when you looked at that the dynamic between them, Sir Gawain, when he came in, I feel like he was a little bit arrogant.
A lot of
He
it.
was he was a little bit okay, yeah, he was a lot arrogant.
Yeah.
He was, I feel, very dismissive of Sir Criston Cole. And given whatever we feel about him personally, yes, he is a shitty person, but you cannot deny that the man is a warrior. Like, he is head of the King's Guard for a reason. He is leading the regiment for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Aside from Aemon and his hot-headedness, like, his plan at Rook's Rest would have worked completely if Aemon had stuck to the plan and done what he was supposed to do.
Right.
You know, but when you have something like what happens, like, of course, Criston didn't expect for Aegon to show up at Rook's Rest. He didn't expect Aemon to attack him. Like, you literally tried to kill your brother in full view of everybody.
Right. And then, like, with Rhaenys there with the dragon, like, they didn't expect the dragons to come in and lay waste. Just in general,
I think they expected Meleys. That's why he had Aemon sitting in the shadows with Aegon.
That's true. That is true
because it was a trap. But he thought that Rhaenyra was going to show up.
Yeah,
which,
and
if
it
she
wouldn't
did,
touch them. That's right, because it wouldn't touch them. Yeah.
But okay, and I would say this too, and we'll talk about this later. If it was not for Jace, Rhaenyra would have been dead several times over. If
I mean, and it's true. It's true, even though he need to sit down somewhere.
Yeah,
sometime.
but we'll talk. We'll get to that.
But sometime he need to sit down. But yeah, no, that is true.
I think at this point now, like I said, Gawain was very arrogant. He was very blah 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 when last season, and now after that conversation that he had with Criston last season when he confronted him about sleeping with Alicent, you know, do you not have any honor? He was like, yeah, I got honor, but I got shame. He was like, but your sister saved my life twice. She is the beacon that I follow. He was like, I don't give a fuck about none of this stuff. I do this for her.
Mm.
And after what I saw at Rook's Rest, it was like, dude, I'm counting down my days. I know I'm not coming out of this alive.
Yeah, I'm not making it back. At this point,
you can kill me for sleeping with your sister if you want to. At this point, it don't matter. I can die by your sword. I can die by that sword, or I'm gonna die by dragon fire. I probably would prefer to die by the sword anyway. So, what you gonna do?
Yeah, he just
and Wayne couldn't do nothing but just sit down because he was just like, "Wow, this dude is really dejected." Like,
where is your fire, Crispy?
Right.
It's so crazy how he came on the screen that first season and he was fine and people was, and then he just turned into a whole
different,
like,
but at the same time, I hate to say, he makes a lot of sense. You are talking about a war where dragons are the main, like, what hope do we have?
Yeah,
and they don't even know about the additional dragons.
Right. Yeah,
you don't know about the new dragons.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just worried about the what it was what Cyrax, Vermax, Moon Dancer,
Caraxes.
Caraxes.
Um,
Those were the four that they knew of because
yeah,
Vermithor didn't have
Vermithor
a rider.
didn't have a writer. Okay.
Silverwing didn't have a rider, or not
Oh,
Silverwing. Yeah, Silverwing.
Dreamfire. Well, Dream, what you call it didn't. She has Dreamfire, but she doesn't ride Dreamfire for fighting or nothing.
Yeah,
Elena.
yeah. But I mean, all those dragons that they know of on Rhaenyra's side,
Yeah.
that's all he knows about. He don't even know about the new dragons.
Yeah. And
And
all the bastards.
he's just like, I'm just here. I'm marching because it's what's expected of me. I'm gonna go clear as much of what I can for Aegon, but I'm not expecting to come out of this, and
Yeah.
you shouldn't either. And it's like now you see Sir Gawain, and he is so toned down.
Yeah.
You
Because
know,
how
and
do you survive that and not be different though?
mhm,
Uh,
right.
no.
Especially, and again, especially when you have a commander who's just basically like, okay, it is what it is. Because when he confronted him last season, he was like, you know, you are a white cloak. You're supposed to stay pure. Your brothers in the King's Guard, they don't sully themselves. And he was like, is
If you
that
only knew.
right?
If you
And
only
and
knew.
and literally, this is what you see when you walk in. Not only are they sullying themselves, they are doing it violently, aggressively. This is why Criston Cole is like, what the fuck ever. He was like, there's no honor ain't no honor nowhere here.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So,
that's true.
you know, and
True.
it's so interesting to see because Criston is deflated, but he's still like, okay, I'm gonna sit here and decorate my shield. I'm gonna clean my sword. I'm gonna get ready for battle, but I'm not expecting to come out of this.
Yeah.
Gawain's just deflated because he's like, I ain't signed up for this shit.
Yeah. What the hell is this?
I signed up for guts and glory and to fight and to come out victorious.
Yeah.
And I got this depressed motherfucker leading me. You
Yeah.
know,
And
Gawain is
dragons.
you know, he mad. He mad. He just sitting there like, I'm just stuck here. Because what happens if he leaves? He gonna be called a deserter. He gonna be put to death anyway. You might
Yeah.
as well
Coward.
stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true.
I tell you. Criston, yeah, his tone has changed, but I still want him to die a horrible death just
Yeah,
because,
man. Heck yeah.
like,
You let a
especially
cow seduce you, and then you ain't man enough to admit that you wanted her too. She didn't force you. She didn't take it from you. You gave it up, but then you take that hatred, and then you make a whole alliance with somebody else who you ain't supposed to be sleeping with.
look, because she didn't want to give up the crown for you.
Yeah. So let's stop. We can run away.
So where? You see all that silver hair, they gonna know who she is.
Like how she girl, bye.
Yeah, yeah. And then
That's
I rewatched season 2 last week to prepare for season 3.
right.
And I was reminded all over again of how dirty he did Sir Eric, making,
Oh
putting the
yeah,
blame on him for what happened to
yeah,
Jaehaerys,
yeah.
and was basically like, oh, okay, well, you want to make
Oh,
up for it. You could have done this. You and your brother could have been in cahoots. So I was like, the nerve of
the nerve. Where were
that
you when you were supposed to be
renewed,
on duty? Oh, sleeping with the queen.
right. That renewed my hatred for him.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then you send this man to his certain death. He told you, you are sending me to my death, or I'm sending you to glory. No, because this
no,
man's
no,
reputation is now sullied for the rest of
right.
time.
Yes.
I was like, oh, you just renewed my hate for you.
Mm, mm,
So I kind of sort of feel just a little bit sorry for his melancholy, but no, not really. I'm
not really.
waiting to see him die an excruciating, horrible death.
Yeah, maybe some of that dragon fire that he was so afraid of.
You know what? I think No, because I was gonna say he's not good enough for Dragonfire, but I feel like he's not worthy of getting a warrior's death. He shouldn't die by the sword because
Yeah. Well,
mm-mm.
anything would be better than getting rocks dropped on your head in the freaking basement.
Look, don't even start. Don't
Because
even start. We are
that
not
was the
here to
most
talk about Game of Thrones
unsatisfying,
now.
the most unsatisfying death. I'm like, please stop giving us bad, horrible. People deserve terrible
We
deaths,
don't
and
need
I need them.
romantic deaths.
I
Okay.
need
There
them.
there was like if any character in any part of that story did not deserve a romanticized death, it was Cersei
It
motherfucking
was
Lannister.
Cersei Lannister. Girl, I was so mad. I was so mad.
So mad.
I could deal with so many other things, but that right there
Yeah.
in his
But
arms.
but on the switch up, Lena Headey is coming to DragonCon, right?
I'm so excited.
Look, so we can tell her in person. We can be like, "Look, we love you, but that Cersei Lannister girl, you played
Yes.
the shit out of her because we all hated her. You
Yep.
did
But
that,
also, like, she was Gorgo in 300, and I'm
yeah."
like, come back with your shield or on it, baby. I'm just like, oh, I cannot wait to see her.
Right, right. Only Spartan women. What'd she say? Only Spartan women birth with real men or something.
First real men or something like that.
I was
Yes.
like, come
Yes,
on, girl.
ma'am.
And she was Sarah Connor, girl.
And, right, right.
So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
anyway, all praises for Lena Headey, but Cersei Lannister was still a bitch. Anyway,
That's and that's still praise because she played that character.
she did. Okay, so the other the other part, we gotta talk about these new dragon seeds because I don't know how I feel about Ulf right
I,
now. Like
I
he,
don't. I think I just would like, what is his name? Adam. I think he's the only one who
yes.
I don't have a problem with at this point.
Well, I don't really have a problem with Hugh either because Hugh is like, okay, I'm here, I'm gonna do my duty, but he's kind of trying to, I guess he's trying to be the buffer for Ulf because Ulf is the one who has no filter. He's the one
Yeah,
who gives no fucks. And Hugh
I
is
don't
trying
know.
to maintain a sense of decorum. But I, if I remember
I don't trust
correctly from
him.
the books, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I do get a little shady vibes from, yeah. So I
I don't
don't
trust
know.
him because he just feels like that one who got something up his sleeve.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
kind
mean,
of. But
Ulf obviously is off, right? Like he gonna do
mhm.
whatever he gonna do, but something about what you call it, he just I don't know.
Well, I think
Mm,
one of the things about him is, he is, and I don't know if it's just because the scene got, well, not the scene, but the conversation got cut short because Ulf was talking about his past and, how
right.
he found out that he had Targaryen blood. Cause he was like, yeah, I was one of the Mongols. I used to get beaten. I used to get kicked. They treated me bad. He was like, then a priest from Essos came to me. He paid me coin to do
Mm,
things. And then he told me that, I had, I had the dragon in my blood. And,
mm,
that was when the rumor started or the story started. I don't think Ulf ever really believed it. He was just using
no,
it for like clout. And then, of
right.
course, this stuff happens and he actually gets a dragon because the dragon chooses him. And
Yeah,
he's
he
just like,
recognized him.
oh shit, I am a Targaryen.
Yeah.
And then he asked Hugh, he was like, so where did you get the dragon in your blood from? And I think Hugh is probably being cautious
Right.
because his mother was literally Daemon and Viserys's
Sister, right?
sister.
'Cause she was in the courthouse or whatever.
She was in the
Yeah.
brothels in the whorehouse, and they don't talk
Yeah.
about this too much in the show, but he mentions it when he's telling his wife why
Right.
he needs to go. And he was
Right.
like, yeah, I didn't tell you about this, but I didn't know my father, but I knew my mother and blah, blah, blah. And
Right.
if you go in and look, you will see she is a daughter of Jaehaerys. She was kind of estranged from the family because she didn't want to be part of the royalty. She didn't want to be part of the bloodline, or as far as like the hierarchy. She was like, I want to go out and do my own thing. I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to be contained by the rules of being a part of the royal family. I'm gonna go do my own thing. So what did she do? She went to go live in a whorehouse. She went to go live in a brothel. She lived her own life. She had Hugh, and then she ended up dying or whatever. But I think he's probably going to keep his part of that history a secret for as long as he can.
Right.
Because technically speaking, he could have an equal claim to the throne.
Well, that's what, yeah. And I think that's why he wouldn't tell, because you already got a woman who's willing to kill a bunch of strangers who might be bastards by dragon fire, trying to learn if they can ride a dragon to get this throne back. You tell her now, you're just another person she got to fight.
Yeah.
It's kind of like with the Daenerys finding out about Jon.
I was just about to say that.
When people find this out, this is going to be a problem. You gotta fix this,
Right.
And so,
and it was different with Daenerys and Jon, because at that point they'd known each other, they had fallen in love, so there was a little bit of kind of a bridge there. But she really doesn't know any of these dragon seeds. She doesn't know Q from the next person, so could very well be like, okay, well, let me buy my time until let me let her get rid of all the other competition, and then I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring. He could very well do that. So I think he's playing it close to the chest. Now, whether that means that he's actually thinking along those lines, or if it means that that he's just, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut, I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do and be good.
Right.
So, but yeah, it is one of those things where it's kind of like, and then it's so funny because Adam, who is also technically lowborn, who came the same way that they did as a bastard, he has more grace. He has more manners. More. He seems like he would fit in to that world.
Yep.
Even though Corlys never acknowledged him or his brother, it's almost like actually they both conducted themselves like, okay, our father is a great man, even though he doesn't acknowledge us.
It's not right.
So we're going to act the part, because I know Alan is more standoffish with Corlys as the older son.
Yeah. Because he don't know, he's known for longer. He's had time to stew for longer.
and to look at that. But Adam is just basically like, I just want my dad to acknowledge me. Yeah. And I feel like part of them being composed the way that they are, and being proper, and being mannerable and all this other stuff, is just basically like, whenever Corlys decides to acknowledge them, they want to be worthy of it. That's kind of the feeling that I get with the both of them. Right. Because they really do act very different from a lot of the other quote unquote bastards that we come across.
Yeah. And they work on, like him working on the docks, being kind of a sailor, you would think, like, but he really is like his number two. Like he's very, disciplined. Like he's not just out there. He's like, whatever. And I just got to that scene with the pirate and and Alan. But yeah, only thing about Adam that it did kind of annoy me at some point, when he just would not let it go that they needed to stay there. While they were at the place, and no dragons showed up, and they just were like, we need to figure out a new plan. And no, we need to stay. And I'm like, okay, now you're good at two shoes. Attitude is driving me insane right now. Y'all need to leave.
But I think maybe for Adam, he's maybe not necessarily too goody two shoes, but he's trying not to mess up anything. He doesn't want, because again, the other two are a little bit more, and maybe not Hugh as much, but Ulf is very loose-lipped about certain things. Like he's sitting there like, Yeah, we're gonna get castles because she's gonna make us knights. And what do you mean a knight only gets a horse? What the fuck am I gonna do with a horse? And blah blah
With
blah.
a horse.
He's basically talking like he
Uh,
deserves all of this stuff.
yeah.
And I feel like Adam is more so like, I don't want to give her the impression that I feel like I'm entitled. So
Right.
now that
Or
I've
that she
claimed
owes me.
this
Yeah,
dragon,
yeah.
I'm gonna do what I am told. I am going to be the loyal, faithful subject, and that's it. So I think for him, it's probably more so about survival and about making sure he doesn't rock the boat. Because
Yeah.
let's be honest, Rhaenyra is kind of on a precipice right now. You know, she just went through all this time, all these months, thinking her husband was raising his own army to go against her. She's had all of this other stuff happen to her that's been kind of bad. I think Adam is just like, you know what? I'm just blessed to be here. I'm just gonna do what I'm told.
Right. Yeah, that's that. I always think about that.
This is not the time
Yeah.
for me to assert my independence
Just
and
do
say,
my
hey,
own
I
thing.
think I know, because this is all new territory for him. Like you said, he was raised on the boats, he was raised on the docks. They were, or rather, he wasn't on the docks, but he did
But
not
yeah,
live the kind of life that he is being offered now. So he's
right.
kind of like, you know what? I'm just gonna do what I'm told. If she told us to stay here until Vagar comes, if Vagar don't show up for a year, I'm gonna be here when Vagar
Oh, yeah.
shows up. But but okay,
Uh,
what the hell was that? Was the antler, the antlered man or whatever that creature was?
I have
What
no idea.
was that?
I don't know, but I don't know. But then Oath was like, bruh, we
It's
getting up
time to
out of
go.
here. It's time to go.
Deuces.
I
And
was just like,
then Alice
but
River
then
shows up.
Alice River shows up, and I was like, oh, well, if she's showing up with something, something, okay. And then
Right. And she
Nikki
was like, yeah,
tells them,
he's
like,
right.
y'all need to go. This ain't where the battle is, which thank goodness, because I really did feel like they needed to leave.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then I guess that's because I also was watching the battle of the Gullet. So,
Yeah. And
yeah.
because I think they showed up at the Battle of the Gullet in the book. I think they
Oh,
fought in it, but they didn't fight it in this one. So I was like, I'm gonna have to go back and double check. But I was like, okay, so there must be something else. I do know that season three, just from what I've read, because like I said, I have not gotten that far in Fire and Blood yet. But
right,
apparently, season three has this one episode already has deviated quite a bit from the books or
right.
from the book. So we'll see. But yeah, that whole thing was weird because you had this little thing over sitting there taking a crap. I was like, what is it with Game of Thrones and
Oh
taking
my
crap
God.
like lately? Well, at least it wasn't like Sir Dunk.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, people who are mad about that are gonna be mad again. Because why is he grunting
at,
and making noise?
at least that one wasn't as graphic. But when that thing showed up, I was like, wait, what the hell was that? I
Me
still don't know what
too.
it was. And from
No.
what I've read so far on social media, nobody knows what that thing is. So I was
Oh,
like,
well,
okay,
mm.
we'll just see. Okay, we'll
So do
we'll
you
come
think
back to
it
that.
was some for Alice, maybe some form of hers or something? Since she
Could
did
have
kind of
been,
show up right after.
but it was just like I need to go back and rewatch it again because I think they've passed that part on the TV in the background. And I was talking, so I didn't see it, but I I don't know. I mean,
Because the Rivers
mythical. If we
bastards
want,
are not the Baratheon bastards would be Storm, right? That's would be their last name. So Rivers bastards, whose bastards are those? It's what, the Tullys or like
yeah, the Riverlands.
all the Riverland people.
Yeah,
So whoever, I'm like, that thing wouldn't fit into
no.
like a
So it
house.
could be something having to do with Alice, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, mythical or well, yeah, I guess that would be considered mythical. Mythical creatures are not new to Game of Thrones,
Right, yeah, yeah.
so maybe it's something that's going to play a part later on in the season. But
Right,
it was very strange because y'all are on this piece of rock and nobody else is there, and then all of a sudden this thing shows up and then Alice River shows up. It's like, you know what, if you didn't think it was time to leave before, now
right.
might be a good time for you to leave.
Yeah.
because I'm not staying there with some horned creature running around doing whatever. I'm just no, I'm not about to do that. But okay, let's see. Where do I want to go first? Do we want to go with Jason Rhaenyra? Do we want to go with Baela? I mean, not Baela, Rhaena. Let's go with Jason Rhaenyra first because I think all of that kind of okay. Rhaenyra has a meeting with her small council. She tells them Alicent came by.
Right.
She said this. She's going to give up Aegon. I'll be able to go in, take the city, blah, blah, blah. Jace is immediately like, she ain't telling you the truth. It's
Right. It's
not.
not gonna happen, Mom.
Right, right. And here's the thing, because I've seen people kind of split on Jace. I will say this. Jace's character, yes, he's young. Yes, he's enthusiastic. Yes, he can be a bit overzealous. But honestly, even though the path to what was happening was not the way that he said things were going to happen, things happened the way he said things were going to happen. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? It's kind of like people want to talk about his age. Oh, he needs to let the grown-ups do this. He needs to sit down. And one of the things that I think this episode is very important in showing us is that sometimes the older people need to listen to the viewpoints of the younger generation. Yeah. Because the younger generation is looking at things in a way the older generation doesn't. We even see that in real life.
Yeah.
Us,
oh yeah.
You and I being Gen X, and then the younger generations, like they are doing things, saying things. They are more active in activism. They are more active in, being empathetic to people. They are more accepting of people of other races, of other genders, all this other stuff. Like, yeah. There's a lot that we learn from, or at least for me, I'm not going to speak for everybody. There's a lot that I have learned.
No, you're right.
From the generation. You're right. That if it was just left to me because of what my generation did or thought or were taught, I wouldn't think that. And I think that's a prime example of what's going on with this. Like, yeah, Jace may not make sense sometime, but his whole thing this entire time has been his mama need to sit her ass down. Like, you are the queen. You can't just be going off flying into everything because they are gunning for you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I understand Rhaenyra wants to prove her worth. I understand she wants to also earn her crown. I get it. I get it. But there's a time and place for everything. And if you didn't see it with Rhaenys, that could have been you and Cyrax when Meleys and Rhaenys went to Rook's what is it? Rook's
Rest.
whatever.
Rook's Rest.
Rook's Rest. That could have been you. And then everything would have gone to shit, because then that means Jace would have been the heir, and then there would have been a whole other thing because half the people don't believe that Jace deserves the crown because because
they know he ain't.
Right.
They know he not who he is.
Right. So it's kind of like I get Jace's frustration and I get what he was trying to do. And I have a feeling Rhaenyra is going to be haunted by the last words she said to her son. Yeah. Because when he was trying to tell her, he was like, so what happens if you die? And she was like, well, you'll finally get a chance to become king. And she slammed the door. Yeah. I was like, oh, guess what? That's not going to happen now. That's going to haunt her.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I get both sides of it. Like, obviously, I'm always annoyed by the kids. But so I get both sides of it, that sometimes I do feel like he's very haughty and he's very like, he doesn't want to listen, and he feels, but I also get where he's coming from. Like you said, that she is the queen and she needs to at some point not fall into traps, because you should be smarter than that. Right. But then it's also a thing of like, if you think it's a trap for her, what makes you think you're gonna have a better time of doing whatever needs to be done? And that's
Yeah.
the thing that kind of bothers me about Jace. Is like, if it's dangerous for her, brother, it's gonna be dangerous for you.
Yeah.
And then you took your cousin with you, so you just double dangerous. And then how do y'all not know that there are weapons that exist that can harm dragons? Because it was different in Game of Thrones era because they really didn't know a ton about the dragons and
Because
stuff
I
like that.
think those weapons are those are recent weapons, because even the ones that they have in King's Landing, they only had a couple, and that's because the blacksmiths made it. So he probably, they're going into this, it's ships. They don't think that ships are going to have that kind of stuff, because especially this is the triarchy. Triarchy ain't dealing with dragons, they dealing with Corlys for the last 25 years. So
Yeah.
I I also think with Jace, it wasn't necessarily just him being headstrong. I think in Jace's mind, if it has to be a sacrifice, I think he feels like he's he's a more acceptable sacrifice than his mother. His mother is going to be the one that unites the realm. He really feels that Viserys feels that, and that's kind of what Viserys was thinking when he made Rhaenyra heir, and he was talking to her about the Song of Fire and Ice. He's like, Rhaenyra is going to be the one to unite it. That's what she told Jace. So maybe in Jace's mind, he was like, okay, you know what? If my mother dies and I get on the throne, as much as he wants to protect his inheritance, he knows that him being on the throne is
It's
going
not,
to
yeah.
throw the kingdom into chaos. And for Jace, it's like, you know what? We got enough chaos right now. We need my mother. She needs to claim her throne. She needs to bring peace back to the realm. So I think even in his young mind, again, Viserys didn't do what he needed to do with his children. Rhaenyra has done the opposite. Jace is very capable of giving counsel, even though it sounds kind of rash to her. Again, he's looking at it from a different point of view.
Yeah.
So he's very capable of giving counsel. I think he would have been very capable of going out and doing what he needed to do if he hadn't had to also deal with
Right.
sheep stealer. But
Right.
even him taking Baela, I think that more so was because, Baela has been out doing her stuff. She's been out going on patrol. She's been doing this. And she's trying to keep him safe. She's trying to keep him out of, because one of the things about Baela that we've seen the last couple of seasons, she is the one who's always telling him, you are not your birthright. Like, you are still worthy to be the heir. You are still worthy of being the prince. You are still worthy of being the future king. And I think in her mind, she knows that Jace is trying to protect his mother, but at the same time, he's trying to prove that he is worthy of this. You know what I'm saying? But when he gets ready to leave, he's about to go just by himself. And then he stops and he was like, come with me. One, because he wanted to include her, because granted, that's still his fiance.
Right.
They were still betrothed. But two, he probably thought better of it and was like, okay, you know what? Two dragons would be better than one. We can watch each other's backs. And that's exactly what they were doing with each other until Rhaena and her dumb ass comes in. But again, we'll get to her later. But I think as far as Jace goes, the thing that I did not agree with was the whole thing about locking Rhaenyra up. Because now you really have caused her to not have anyone she can trust.
Yeah. Because
And
that's her guard that she now is like, don't trust them. You and then she finds when she finds out that Baela went with him,
yeah,
she's
that's
gonna have
gonna
a
be
problem with her.
it's gonna be an issue. But also, I will say this for Rhaenyra. You have a council for a reason.
Yeah.
You need to start listening to them. I mean, and I don't know, maybe it's a Targaryen thing, because Daenerys listened to her counsel, and then up to a certain point, once she started getting closer to war, she stopped heeding counsel. She started kind of sort of doing her own thing. And then of course Tyrion, because people figured out he was clever, they're like, oh, we're gonna feed some misinformation. Okay, that's all fine and good, but Rhaenyra has been getting counsel this whole time. And some of it, yes, it's kind of like, I don't think y'all know what y'all talking about, but sometimes you need to listen. When the enemy comes to your home, I don't care what kind of relationship y'all used to have, I don't care how close y'all were, like sisters or whatever. You need to listen to the other people who are telling you be cautious. When Massaria says, are you sure about this? You need to listen because Massaria knows all the tricks of how the people in Landing do.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you don't want to listen to your child, if you're looking at him like, oh, he's a child, he don't know, baby, you're the one that's training him. He has instincts because he's been learning at your feet. So he's telling you, don't trust this, don't fly off into this, don't just go half cocked. And then you're talking about doing that. You're gonna pull some of Corlys's ships from the gullet to go to King's Landing. You're gonna pull Daemon from Harrenhal to go to King's Landing. And it's just like, listen to these people who are telling you, hey, take a breath. Make sure if you can send a raven to Daemon at Harrenhal, you can have Massaria send a raven to Elinda, who is still in King's Landing, your handmaiden, to
Right.
say, hey, did Aegon really leave? Is Vhagar and Aemon really gone? It's gonna take about the same time. You could have taken some precautions before you just like, oh yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna take Alicent at her word. Like Alicent ain't
Right.
never betrayed you before.
It
Alicent
would
told you
definitely
you would make
be
a great queen the night before she put her son on the throne.
right. Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I love Rhaenyra. I'm Team Black. I'm here for Rhaenyra and all her war crimes. I am,
And not her war crimes.
but baby,
Yeah. No,
I need you
that's
to
a
think.
thing that bugs me is her feeling that in her heart that because the thing is she wasn't lying, but that doesn't mean things don't change. That doesn't mean that things didn't change between her leaving and and so that's the thing that always bugs me about her because even before this last time, like when she finally found out it was all what you call this all Alicent's fault, and they
Mm-hmm.
finally had the conversation, and she tried to tell her, "You need to fix this. You need to do this. You need to do that." And
Mm-hmm.
it's just like, but you see, she wants things to be better, but like you can't exactly trust that she's gonna do everything right.
No.
So if it were me, I would definitely maybe send a scout or two. I would send some spies. I would
And
figure
and
something out.
and even with that, how do you even know Alicent made it back to King's Landing safely?
Yeah, yeah,
Because it's not like Alicent was dressed in black when she came to Dragonstone. You still walking around in your
yeah,
green. Anybody who was Rhaenyra's ally could have seen Alicent between Dragonstone and King's Landing and been like, oh, it's the Queen Regent. It's the Queen Mother. Let's get her.
yeah. Take her out.
She would have never known. So
I
it's
can imagine how people did war in times where there weren't actual like communication devices.
like like y'all gonna
Ooh,
depend on a bird. That bird could die mid-flight.
mid-flight,
Somebody could
or
shoot
somebody
it
could
out the
take it.
sky.
You know?
Oh, there's a pigeon. I need some food. I mean,
Yeah. I mean,
anything.
that's the reason why Catelyn would she ended up even though that was dumb. Still, it's still one of the dumbest things she ever did in Game of Thrones was leave her house. But that's the reason why she went to King's Landing herself because the
Yeah.
Ravens could be taken. It could be, and it's just like
It could have been
think about
anything. Yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like, I do feel like there was things that should have been heard that Rhaenyra just doesn't hear.
Yeah.
And that's bothersome. And I do think Jace does get a little hot headed, but it's also like, I don't know. I guess it's just hard to like make a perfect decision in these cases, you
Yeah.
know?
But that's why you have a council. So
Yeah.
you can discuss this and then plan the best course of action. But if you're sitting here making decisions based on one person, a person who ain't even on your side,
Yeah.
like you're not listening to the people who are there, who have sworn fealty to you, who are there to protect you. You're not
Right.
listening to them. And then it causes other people to make decisions that have bad consequences.
Dire consequences, yeah.
So it's just kind of like, I don't know. And at this point now, there's not going to be any comeback for Rhaenyra, because once she finds out that Jace is gone,
yeah,
can't think about nobody else now. She's going off half cocked. You know she is. So yeah, but I mean, y'all ain't gonna make me hate Jace. That was like one of my favorite characters. But before we get to him and what happens at the Battle of the Gullet, we gotta talk about Rhaena.
Girl, let me just tell you. First off, you gonna be a dragon rider, big. I need you to first of all, you got to be, you can't be, look, Carrie, I was saying you were so, girl, you are trying to bond with a dragon. What are you doing? I know you done seen this
A
classic.
wild dragon at that.
Wild dragon. And you sitting up here shaking in your boots, half dead.
Okay, but here's the other thing. The reason why she's shaking in her boots, because the last time she tried to claim a dragon, the dragon almost killed her. Sea Smoke almost killed her. They have said multiple times.
She didn't have it in her.
Right. They have said this multiple times, like she wasn't able to hatch a dragon egg. The several times that she has tried to claim a dragon, none of them would accept her. Sea Smoke almost ate her. Like, bitch, you are like a desperate woman who don't know how to leave a man alone. The man don't want you. These dragons don't want you.
Go babysit your niece, nephew, or cousin, sister, brothers.
Go babysit brothers. But the thing is, she is the textbook definition of trying to force something that is not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Baby, I understand you want a dragon.
To be a dragon rider.
I get it. Apparently, that's not in the cards for you.
Yeah.
So now you try to claim this dragon. Now, granted, it's a little shaky. First of all, she's also probably shaking because she probably ain't eating however long it's been.
Oh, he could tell because he was like, you need to eat before you get on my back.
So she gets on his back and he takes her on this wild ride. And then when he drops her off and flies off, he comes back. He does feed her. He has a sheep. Now, first of all, when he regurgitated those sheep, I was like, is he about to feed her like birds feed their children? But then he barbecued it up and she ate it. But I was just like, okay. But then this is the thing I think that really got me with her. So you do finally get this wild dragon to allow you to ride him. Okay. Right. Now, I saw some people on social media who was talking about her not being able to control a bonded dragon, whatever. They were not bonded.
No, they were clearly not bonded.
They were not, and not even just the clearly not bonded, because people were like, yeah, he didn't listen to her, just like Vhagar didn't listen to Aemon when the whole Luke thing happened. No, this is totally different because one, Sheepstealer is a wild dragon. Sheepstealer did not grow up in in King's Landing. He did not have the dragon trainers, probably does not speak Old Valyrian. So all these commands she's giving him, like they do with the other dragons, he's probably looking at her like, what the fuck is she talking about? He don't know none of this stuff because he was not trained. So you have all of these things. And then when you're flying home, you see that there's a battle going on in the ocean. You decide to take your wild ass dragon to a fucking buffet and not expect him to go crazy. What is, she is incredibly selfish, because as much as you want a dragon, and I get it, like I said, you've abandoned your brothers, you've abandoned an edict by the queen. Like, she literally set you out with this task. I need you to go with them. I need you to watch over them. I need you to be the mother to them that I can't be. Granted, okay, we live in a different society. You shouldn't be putting your maternal duties on a child. Let's start there. But
Yeah.
at the same time, you abandon children that you know people are going to be looking for to kill.
Yeah.
So that
Which
you
are
can go chase after a fucking dragon.
technically the real heirs too, because
Yes.
they were, not bastards, and they were a Targaryen blood.
And not only that, now the next heir in line is with them because Joffrey is with them.
Mm-hmm.
But you just let them go so you could chase after this dragon. We don't know where these kids are. We know they're supposed to be going to Pentos.
Right.
We know that. But again, how do we know they made it there safe? Something could have happened to them on the road. They could have been ambushed. They could have come across some Team Green supporters. Like, you just pushed all thought of them to the side because of something you wanted.
Yep. You thought it was more important than the job you were given.
Once you claim this dragon, you take this dragon to a battle where you don't even know what the fuck is going on. Like, yeah, you probably see your grandfather's emblem and all that other stuff. You still don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And not only that, again, you are not bonded to this dragon. You and this dragon don't have the kind of connection that Jace has with Vermax, that Baela has with
Moon
Dancer, that Rhaenyra has with Cyrex, that Daemon has with Correct. You don't have that kind of bond.
Not even close.
With this dragon. So yeah, he starts firing up the enemy ships.
Well, she told him. She came in, Dracarson.
Right.
And then he was like, oh, so we killing everybody.
Right. Because, okay, yeah, you start off with the enemy ships.
Yeah.
This dragon don't know he don't know who you are affiliated with.
It's us against them. We in the air, they down there. We killing everybody. And I was laughing. When I tell you, I was yelling at the TV because what? And then she's like, no, don't be. Like, he ain't never obeyed you.
You've come in. You're killing all everybody. You're killing Triarchy and Sea Snake folks alike. And then not only that, now Sheepstealer sees two other dragons. He's been in the he ain't seen no other dragons.
Yeah, he been because we was the Eerie, right? So he's been in the Vale that whole time.
You haven't seen any other dragons.
Yeah.
And all you see is these dragons coming towards you or coming towards the thing. What is that to you, especially as big as you are? Oh, that's lunch. I don't know these dragons. They ain't my kin.
Yeah. And then all they could probably see, if they saw a person at all, was white hair. That could have been anybody.
And they probably didn't see her at first because literally she was chasing Baela, and Baela had to turn around and look as she realized it was Rhaena. Jace was flying on top of her when he realized it was Rhaena. And so, of course, him and Baela both being experienced dragon riders and seeing the destruction that Sheepstealer is doing, they're like, oh, she can't control him.
Control him.
So Baela does this thing where she becomes bait for Sheepstealer because she's trying to get him away from the action.
Yeah.
And that leads to all kinds of chaos.
Yeah.
That we'll go into later on because we got to talk about the Battle of the Gullet first, but it's like, so one of our other co-hosts, Casey, she always has this saying when we talk about shows with children that don't do what they're supposed to do. She's like, that child need a whooping. When I say Baela needs an old school 80s ass whooping, She need the belt. She need a switch, something, because what you just made everything worse. You came into the battle, and instead of giving them an advantage, you made everything worse.
Right.
You killed some of your grandfather's men. You destroyed some of his ships. And then on top of that, you were the reason that Vermax got caught up in those hooks.
Yeah.
And you are the reason that Jace is now dead. Because they're too busy trying to get away from you.
Yeah.
And trying to lead you away from all the action, that he's not paying attention to what else is going on.
Yeah.
And I saw so many people talking about, oh, it was inexperienced. He wasn't. No, he was trying to
help
do what he was supposed to do.
Yeah. No, that's true. That he was, because they were higher up at that point, kind of out of the range,
right? And I think they did go low at one point, but also at that time they didn't realize that they had those we call it the scorpions in King's Landing. I don't know what they call it there, but he didn't realize they had those. But when Vermax got caught the first time and Baela was able to get she was able to cut the rope, it's like, oh, okay, we don't need to get that close anymore. Let's stay up here. Let's do what we need to do. Okay, fire, go back up in the air. They were working it out. They were figuring it out. And then here she come, fucking everything up.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? It's one of those things where I want to say her character is a waste of space right now, but
yeah,
she's doing more harm.
Yeah. We don't have time for her. Oh, I gotta prove myself. Bullshit. We don't got time for that right now. Like, you got daddy issues, okay. You got mommy issues because your mom okay. You got issues because you can't bond with dragon. Okay, but girl, we in the war. A whole war. This ain't play. So I need you to go take your ass back to the Eyrie, to the Vale, and go babysit your brothers and sisters so they can.
No, because they ain't even there anymore. They're in Pentos.
I know, but
and let's be honest, she don't need to take sheep stealer to Pentos, because she still don't know who them folks are, don't know who her siblings are. She still might try to fire up, get some barbecue, some Targaryen barbecue,
or somebody who, for some reason has a strong bond because they might have some of that blood over there, might take that doggone dragon. You never know. So, like, it's so many bad things that could happen because of this, and it's just like, was it worth it? I don't see how this is worth it.
It's not.
Like, you just messed all
even if you take everything else out, you still were responsible for the death of the heir. Yeah, you weren't the blows that killed him. Yeah. But if you had not been there, Jace probably would be alive.
Yeah. Well, and then also the other thing that might have would have happened is what the sea snake was trying to do with the pirate lady. I can never think of her name.
Lohar.
With the pirate lady, Lohar, is they would have been there because they would have been paying attention, and they would have been able to fire her ship when she got stuck in between the rocks. Mm-hmm. But because they weren't where they were supposed to be when he did that pimp maneuver through the rocks, and she wasn't a slouch herself because she knew she had to get rid of all that weight, and she would float and go over the rocks. Mm-hmm. She wasn't no idiot. So, like, my thing is, if they had been in place, they could have her right on up, Dracarys her whole ship right on up, right then and there. Mm-hmm. But no, nothing. So it just, it was a lot that just got messed up. Yeah. And then it just makes you go back to wondering, like, okay, would that have been the same with Rhaenyra? If Rhaenyra had came out there and said, when Baela came or whatever, would it have been the same? Would Rhaenyra have been okay? Would she have been okay in that situation? Like, because here comes old crazy girl on this doggone unbonded dragon. She might have got Rhaenyra killed. You know? So it's like, ugh.
Because once Rhaenyra realized who was the dragon rider, she wouldn't have done anything. She wouldn't have had Syrax, attack or anything because
Right.
it's Rhaena.
Right.
And then she probably would have been distracted because, okay, bitch, if you here, who watching my
Who
children?
watching my children?
So
Where
yeah,
my
either
babies
way
at?
it goes. If it had been Rhaenyra Jace, that would have been disastrous either way.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't a good decision for Rhaena to make. And now it's like
Yeah.
that character is going, and I also see a lot of people online, the memes are funny about they're all dogging sheep stealer
Yeah.
out. I'm like, no, you can't blame the
It
car
was
for
sheep
the
stealer.
accident. You got to blame the driver.
Yeah.
It's
Especially
her
since sheep
fault.
stealer was minding his business.
Minding
And
his
then
business, stealing
people
sheep.
start firing him and shooting fire at him. You don't think he gonna protect himself?
Right. And again, I don't know none of y'all,
Right.
dragon
He
or people
a
alike.
dragon. He a dragon. And he not bonded.
No.
So he just like, what you get me into?
Right. And here's the other thing. So if you look up the history of these dragons and what they're like, it literally says on, like, I think it's Fire and Ice Wiki or one of the things, sheep stealer is not generally bothered by people. If people leave him alone, he leave them alone.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
could
And
have
I think
he
even
could have flown completely over that whole battle, and if they had left him alone, he probably would have just kept on flying.
yeah.
He stop bothering folks that don't need to be bothered. Chief Stealer was
Bringing him
minding his
into stuff.
own business in the Erie. He was getting his sheep. He was having his barbecue. He wasn't thinking about none of this stuff. You bring him half a world away and put him in the thick of battle when he has no experience being around people, not to that degree, no experience being fired upon, and no
Right.
experience of having a rider on his back, and you want to control him, and you're telling him all this stuff. He probably knew Dracarys. That's probably the only thing he knew. And then your ass tried to sing to him on the thing. He turned around and looked at you and basically told you to shut up. Like, girl, when I said I'm so mad at this character, I was like, you know what? Right now, she is a waste of space.
Yeah, for
And I
sure.
don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, Rhaenyra's gonna be mad at Baylor for going with Jace, but you know what? If she think about it, she's probably glad that Baylor went to go have Jace's back. But Rhaena,
Yeah.
bitch, what is you even doing here? Where are my kids?
Yeah.
You shirking your responsibilities, and then you shirk your responsibilities to come cause some more mayhem and shit.
Right. Yeah. I gave you one job
You had
and
one job,
and now my son is dead. And I don't
and
know
my
where my
other
kids
ones are in the
are.
wind. You had one job. Now, I will say all this and then say this. Oh, no, wait, hold up. I got to pause it because Jason's about to die in my background, and I can't right now. I can't. But I will say this too. When we talk about how much we can't stand this character, how stupid she is and stuff, people, please show that you understand media literacy. Please show that you have some comprehension. We are talking about the character. Don't start sending the actress no hate shit, because y'all, some of y'all fans do that stupid shit when a
They're
character,
social, like these people do not understand this is not real life.
right.
Like,
And
I don't understand
thankfully
it.
somebody pointed out that Phoebe Campbell, who plays Rhaena, does not have a social media presence.
Good. Because
So
people
I'm
are
glad.
dumb.
But you know how, so yes, some people are really stupid when it comes to that thing. Like, I remember that happened with Josh McDermott from The Walking Dead when Eugene seemingly went over to Negan's side. He was getting death
Yeah,
threats.
they do. And they get death threats for even stuff that is so tiny and so small that doesn't make sense. They get death threats over it.
Right. So people, let's use some common sense. Let's act like we have two brain cells that rub together.
Yeah. Yeah. It's ridiculous. But they already mad because she black to begin with. So you already know.
Yeah. So, but yeah, when I say Rhaena, girl, I just I think the only thing that's going to save her right now is the fact that she is Rhaenyra's stepdaughter. But I don't know
or
how
or that damn dragon fly her ass somewhere.
he gonna have to. Because if I was her, I would be scared to go home.
I would never go home after that.
I would not go home, and she doesn't even know that Jace is dead because Sheep Stealer was like, you know what, I ain't signed up for this, and took her out of there.
Yeah.
So we don't know where she is right now. We don't know where she's going, but she doesn't know what happened. And when she finds out, yeah, you're right. She better stay far the fuck away from somewhere. She better not even go to Pentos.
I was
Girl, go
about
to
to say,
Bravos, go to Essos,
go
go to
anywhere
Dorn,
else.
go somewhere.
Take that dragon, go park his ass where you got him, and go about your business.
Go to Volantis. Go somewhere. Go past. Go find where Ari is going. Go to the edge of the maps. See what's beyond the maps. Cause girl,
Right.
no, no. But you know what? Part of that is Damon's fault too. You should have been a better daddy to your
He should
children.
have been a better daddy. But also, like, not only not being a better daddy, but also not make her feel some kind of way
Because she
because she
couldn't claim a
couldn't bond with
dragon.
the damn dragon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean,
But
half of the blood was sea snake's blood, so they maybe she had the ship side. Maybe she should have been raised up doing that.
yeah. But
You
I
know?
will say this too. I do feel sorry for her because that does have to hurt to know that literally everyone else, Rhaenyra, and then you have Aegon, Aemon, Helena, and then you have Jace, Lucerys, Joffrey, and then
Joffrey.
you have young Aegon, young Viserys. All of them have dragons.
Yeah.
All of them have
Your
hatched
mama and your
dragons,
daddy.
except for you.
Yeah. Yeah. Your grandma had one.
Right.
Even your grandfather, who never really did much with his dragon, bonded with a dragon.
And not only that, your grandfather's bastard child got claimed by a dragon. Like Sea Smoke
Also that.
sought him out.
Yeah.
And
Cause who
also your mama and your uncle were dragons.
who
So
got who got Viserys's dragon? Whose dragon was Vermithor his?
no, Vermithor, I think was wait.
I can't remember who his dragon because he hardly used his dragon, but he had or did his dragon die? Is that what happened to the dragon?
I think his dragon, I want to say his dragon died.
I can't remember. I feel like we had that he had a dragon, but then he the dragon wasn't, which is one of the reasons why he was so obsessed with like making Rhaenyra not be on her dragon when she was young. But I can't remember. But the point is that this poor child, she just didn't have it. Whatever it is that she needed, she ain't have it. She did not have it.
Right.
Oh,
Let's see. I'm trying to see. Balerion the Black. That's
Valerian,
the Black Dread. Yep.
the
That's
black
who
dread. Yeah.
he died. Oh, it says
This
he died
wasn't
of old age less than a year after Viserys claimed him. So he's
okay,
only a
because that
dragon rider
was
for a year.
yeah. So yeah, so even he had a dragon though at some point, you know.
Yeah, I think Vermithor was Jaehaerys's dragon.
Okay, I knew it was somebody old, like old, and
I think Vermithor was Jaehaerys's
because
dragon.
Valerian was the first Aegon, right, or the
No,
Conqueror's dragon.
Viserys's Rhaenyra's father's dragon.
No. I'm saying before that because it wasn't his
Oh,
dragon initially. I think it was his.
okay.
I think it was
Yeah, but
Aegon.
so I can understand Rhaena feeling some kind of way because, and then, of course, she also thought that she would be able to claim Vhagar since that was her mother's dragon. And then, of course, Aemon snuck in there and took him. But also,
Took
too,
it, yeah.
that makes me feel like she probably wouldn't have even been able to bond with Vhagar. I feel
Oh
like
no,
Vhagar
no,
would have
Vhagar
tore
would
her
not
ass
have it.
up.
Vhagar was not having it. No, ma'am. No.
But and I don't know if maybe it has something to do because from what I can tell, all of the dragons that she's tried to claim so far have been male dragons. But I think
Mm.
in the book, when she finally claims a dragon, I think it's a I think it's a girl dragon,
I
a
think
female dragon.
Vhagar's a girl though. I think
Oh yeah,
Vhagar's
you're
a
right.
girl.
Vhagar is okay. So that theory is dead. But yeah, because in the book, so the difference with most of this is um Sheep Stealer is actually claimed by a character named Nettles in the book, who they have completely done away with in the show. And
Okay.
Nettles was she was a young girl who was a companion to Daemon in the book. And I kind of feel like they took her out of the show because if you read the story and the description of Nettles in the book, it does seem kind of sketchy. It's kind of like a like like parts of one of the eyewitness accounts, because Fire and Blood is basically like an oral story told by
Right.
three different people. So you have unreliable narrators. They're telling their own version of the stories. So
Yeah.
one of the narrators, they liken Daemon and Nettles' relationship to like father and daughter. But
Mm-hmm.
then another one likens it to like they're lovers. And Nettles in the book is a teenage child, while Daemon is like in his 30s and 40s. Like
Right.
I think I remember specifically there is a scene when they were in a bathtub together. And I was
Right.
like, yeah, that's gonna be problematic. So I think that could be one of the reasons why they
They
took
changed
Nettles
it.
out, and they actually gave a lot of her stuff to Rhaena, from what I understand. So a lot of
Okay.
the parts of her story has gone to Rhaena, which would make sense since that's Damon's daughter, if
Yeah.
looking at it from that point of view. But still, it's kind of like, again, these dragons don't want you. Like, I understand it's hurtful. I understand it's kind of isolating to be the only person in the family who can't claim a dragon. But like you said, maybe she's supposed to be on the sea. Maybe that's what her calling is supposed to be.
I feel like it has to
You
be because
know?
you ain't a dragon rider, boo.
No. No. So anyway, okay, let's go to the Battle of the Gullet, because this battle, 25 minutes on the screen, brutal. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know. Ryan Condal did an interview where he said this was the longest and probably bloodiest and best battle uh, in TV history. I don't know if I want to go that far.
No, because I feel like the Battle of the Bastards was pretty long
Battle of the Bastards and
and
also Hard Home. Hard Home was one of those,
hard home.
like, that was
Yeah.
major, major, major. So, but it is up there. And I will even say the Battle of Winterfell. Granted, we couldn't see half of it,
Long night. Yeah, the long
but
night
it
was
was,
also.
yeah, it was very bloody. It was very, yeah. So it is on that scale. I mean, Game of Thrones always does epic battles, and this one was no different. But I think the thing that was interesting about it was you have the triarchy coming. You have Tywin Lannister with Lohar, and he's giving her advice as far as the best way to enter. And she's just looking at him like, yeah, okay, I see why they made you, the master ships, but we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that. And he's like, that's not the best route. She was like, do you really think I came here to fight your battles? I came here to get the sea snake. I said, you know what? I like her because she said, you know what? I need to figure out a way to get into Westeros so that I can continue my vendetta against the sea snake. And you know what? Here's a perfect escort. Girl, when she revealed that, and he was looking at her like, the fuck? Girl, when I said, I was rolling. Cause she was like, oh yeah, I'm not here to fight. I'm not here to fight for your queen or for your king. I'm here because Corlys Velaryon has been killing my people for the last 20 years, and I want to get revenge. I was like, you know what? I guess that's the way to do it. But whew,
That so like that's the thing too, is just like you knew already that she had beef prior to this. It never crossed your mind that it was a this situation was gonna be more self-serving. I felt like she was very amenable to everything he was saying and was like, yeah, we're gonna do the thing. And I'm like, you never once questioned that you knew her history, and you never once questioned that she really just wanted
Right.
revenge.
And that's what I thought too when all of this happened, because I was like, as much as we hear about the triarchy and the conflict and what happened, like literally that whole thing with the stepstones, I was like, so you just gonna take her word that because you bested her in a mud wrestling match, that she's gonna come and do this stuff? They don't care about Westeros.
No, no.
And like the other whatever they were, the council, the leaders, whatever, they were like, we don't need y'all in order to do what we need to do over here. Yeah, y'all got a blockade, but that ain't affecting us. We got other ways around that.
Yeah. And
You
she
know,
clearly knew her shit.
right. But when like I said, if Tywin knew how gullible his ancestors were, and you know what, maybe he does, and maybe that's why he was so precise with what he did, and that was why he educated his children the way that he did, you know, because he was like, yeah, nobody's going to get one over on us again.
Yeah.
Because even Tyrion, as much as he hated Tyrion,
Yeah.
Tyrion knew his shit, and he knew his shit because his father taught him. Tywin was like, oh no, nobody's ever going to get over on the Lannisters. And it could be because of that. He could
Yeah.
be like, yeah, you know what? Let me tell you about these dumbass ancestors we had. I mean, we don't know if Tylan is dead because all she did was throw him over, and he does have his armor on, but we didn't see a body.
Yeah. But she did say that armor was gonna drown him,
Mhm.
basically.
Yeah.
So that might have happened. I just thought it was funny that immediately she was like, yeah.
Yeah. How much you weigh with that armor?
I'm out of your mouth anyway. Your
Right.
mouth way too much.
Right. But even before the
I laughed
battle,
so hard.
even before the battle, Corlys and Alan, they have a moment in his cabin. And I gotta say this for Corlys, because I love Corlys. I love his character, but yeah, I feel some kind of way about the fact that he had these two children running around that he just didn't take care of. He ignored them, had them living on the
Right.
streets, had them struggling for their life, and now you kind of want to come in at the 11th hour and say, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, I'm going to acknowledge you bit by bit, and I expect you to be
Yeah.
grateful." I was feeling some kind of way about it. So for him to sit down with Alan and basically say, this bridge that's between us, I acknowledge that it's of my making, that I'm the cause of it, and I am sorry for it. For him
Yeah.
to be able to look Alan in the eye and claim that responsibility and say, I'm sorry, like he didn't beat around the bush, he didn't mince words, he literally looked at him and said, I am sorry. So I have
Right.
respect for him for that. And I'm interested to see how that conversation would have gone, but of course, that was when the alarm sounded and they realized that there were enemy ships in the water. But when they go up and everything starts happening, chaos and stuff, Alan starts taking charge. When Corlys realizes it's the triarchy and he tells Alan, he's like, bring me my armor. I said, oh, it's about to go down now. Because the other ships, he would have been like, yeah, it's enemy ships. Okay. Yeah, we can take them. It's the triarchy. Oh, you know what? I almost lost my life last time I found them. Let me get suited up. Because he knew that was going to be brutal. And brutal
Yeah.
was, I, you know, I felt some kind of way when they crashed into the ship. I said, it's not bad enough that y'all had to kill Rhaenys, the person. Now y'all got to kill the ship too, because he renamed the ship
Yep.
the Queen
Yep.
that never
And her
runs.
her freaking face is in the yeah.
Yeah, she's the masthead. But that battle was so brutal. That battle was so bloody. And the fight between Corlys and Lohar, I was like, okay, I would give it to her. She was holding her own. She was holding her own. But even before that, when they were doing the chase, he put them in between these rocks, and he was like, yeah, it's kind of narrow, but we can make it through. When I tell you, I have seen so many memes of Corlys. They're like, yeah, Corlys was, he was taking one of those old time cars, like an old Cutlass, with the one hand going in between those rocks, maneuvering. I mean, it was one of those things where, he had someone on the wheel. He was telling them what to do and they were doing it, but they weren't doing it quite right. And he didn't even, he wasn't rude. He wasn't mean. He was just like, allow me. And he started doing it. I was like, that's why he the sea snake.
That's why he the sea
That's
snake.
why he the sea snake. And I mean, his plan almost worked because Lohar took 3 ships in after him. 2 of the ships sunk because they crashed upon the rocks, and they sunk. Now, her being the captain or the admiral of the Triarchy fleet, okay, yes, she showed why she's that as well, because she knew, okay, look, there's rocks down here. We need to do this. We need to lower some of the weight off this boat. So what did she start doing? She started throwing Lannister men overboard. She makes it through the strait. They start gaining on Corlys. Corlys looks over, and one of the things that she did, she chased after him because she wanted to distract him. She sent boats over to Driftmark to set it aflame. When he saw his home aflame, I don't even think it was the fact that all of his trophies went up in flame. Like she said, she was like, yeah, do you think he's going to be able to focus when all of his treasures are up in flame?
No.
I don't think he was thinking about the treasures. He was thinking about Rhaenys and his children. Like, that's where he lived with them.
His grandchildren, they're his heir. Because who was his heir? It was supposed to be Luke
It was
Lucerys,
supposed
right?
to be Luke, and now it's Joffrey.
Yeah. So,
Or actually, I don't think he named an heir.
or did he
Yeah,
not name? Okay, so he
after
named
Luke.
somebody after Joffrey. I mean, after Luke.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's my thought was like he's like thinking that his legacy is gone.
Yeah.
You
But
know?
also he built that for Rhaenys.
Yeah.
It was kind of like a tribute to her. And again, that's where you raised your children. And yeah, so all that start happening, and he's seeing that, and he's kind of distracted when they board the boat, and then the fighting starts, and then he gets knocked out, and then he wakes up, he's still looking, and then he realizes, oh, there are people falling in front of me bleeding. Okay, let me shake out of this and fight for my life.
Right.
So the fighting, of course, is brutal, and then at one point he gets knocked overboard. When Alan saw that and said, Father, I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess you ain't that mad anymore, because it's like, it's one thing for you to be mad at the man while he's standing in front of you, but if this man is not overboard and people are dying, you may not get a chance to reconcile that again. So as soon as Corlys went overboard, and as soon as Alan called father, I said, oh, Lohar about to get her ass beat. She about to get her ass beat because he is good and mad now.
Yep. It's it. And I was like, she wasn't no joke.
Listen, she was bringing the business.
I was thoroughly impressed with her skills all around.
Listen, she was bringing the business.
Yeah.
But
so
they're doing the fight, and her and Alan are going at it, and at one point it almost looked like she was going to get the better of Alan.
Right.
And I think that rage just came up in him, and he was like, no, this is not how this story is about to end. When he stabbed her in the neck, I was like, oh, okay. So that's how you're doing things.
I also was just nervous because they were underwater, and I was like, somebody's gonna grab a knife.
Yeah.
So who is it gonna be? Is it gonna be her or him? I was very nervous.
Thankfully, it was him.
Yeah.
Because when I say he has become, for someone who doesn't speak a lot, he has become one of my favorite characters because he stands on business.
Right.
He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna let you, you trying to give me all these things and you trying to now take care of me. It's like, I don't need all that. Just look, I'm gonna still be the same person I was. I'm gonna still do the same job. Okay, yeah, you promoted me. Okay, you telling me I have no choice but to take it. Okay, look, we still ain't finna be no daddy. This is not about to be a daddy son outing.
we're not actually bonding. I'm doing my job, and yeah,
Right. I'm doing a job that you are paying me for.
yeah. Which
So yeah, but
ain't bad.
whew,
I get it, because
yeah.
child, like that whole thing though, it's just that whole arrogance of being these men having these kids and just dropping them off and leaving them and don't take care of them, and then you got all this money, you living like on the top of the world, you living good, and then you have kids with your wife, and then they're your heirs, but we just sitting over here living off to the side, and then you think
Talking about,
you can't,
I did try to give you a life. How
like,
if he's on if
without my dad.
right, how but he's already told you how he had to be on the streets selling fish to
Yeah,
make ends meet to make sure they had heat in the house to
right.
take care of his little brother. Talking about I was fond of your mother for whatever it was we had. No, girl,
Really,
what?
really.
What?
That made me want to punch him in his face, because I was just like,
I think
well,
Allie wanted to punch him in his face. Did you see it? He was like, the fuck?
that sounds not great. Talking about I was fond of your mother and that thing we had. Like, yeah. So you just used my mama for your little fun and got her pregnant twice.
Not once, but twice.
But
Probably,
okay.
and probably while he was married to Rhaenys, because
Oh
we
yeah,
also don't know about their beginning and how they got married. Maybe theirs was an arranged marriage, and he didn't. Maybe they didn't love each other in the beginning,
yeah.
and
I,
they ended up falling in love. But still, it's
yeah.
kind of like
I
you
definitely think they were married, because I remember Rainey's talking about how beautiful the mother was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So I think they were definitely married when it happened.
but it's like for you to say, oh yeah, I was very fond of your mother. Excuse me, but you couldn't take care of your children.
Not one of them.
Like, yeah, but I mean, and I get it. He was trying to hide it from Rhaenys, but he should have known. Just like she was like, I know who he is, Corlys.
Yeah.
Just yeah, but maybe they'll. I don't know. Maybe they'll get a chance to make amends now. If Corlys is okay, well, I saw the preview for the next episode. He does wash up on the shore, but it's like by the end of the episode, we don't know what's going on with him. We just saw him go overboard, and we never see anything else.
Right.
So maybe they'll get a chance to reconcile once he finds out. I feel like this now. Alan has saved your life not once but twice now, or at least he saved your life once and he avenged you the second time for what could have
Right.
been your death.
Right.
He killed the person who threw you over, who caused all this mayhem, who burned your house to the ground. Okay, so at this point, you keep talking about your heirs and who should be your heir. You tried to make Bailey your heir, and she specifically told you you need an heir that's of salt and sea. I am all fire and blood. Okay, you wanna do the good best thing. You need to make Alan your heir at this point.
Yep. Yep.
You need to
Because
make him your heir. So I mean, at this point, he's more than earned it.
right.
He's more than earned it. He saved you from certain death, and he avenged the person who came to try to kill you a second time. He has earned it. So
Yeah.
raise that boy up. I mean, his brother is already raised up. He's a dragon rider now.
Which, like, that's freaking epic.
So
You
yeah,
went from not being anything to be a dragon rider overnight.
right, right. So he just needs to go on ahead and fix that.
Right. No, I agree wholeheartedly. But also, like, ugh, that whole bastard. I think that just a lot of that just doesn't set well with
Yeah,
me in general. Like, that whole thing just never sat well with me, even
that
in
whole
the
mindset.
original.
Yeah, yeah.
That mindset of the lords being that way, and then people
Mm-hmm.
just, yeah.
Yeah,
I just,
yeah. But um, but yeah, going back to the battle. So you have all that stuff going on with them and the fighting, and then like, Jace and Baylor, they come in, they try to take, the air control of the air. And Corlys is happy when he sees them. He's like, okay, yeah, we got some support. His soldiers start cheering and everything. And like I said, Baylor and Jace, they are handling business. Now, at one point, Vermax does get shot with a hook that has an anchor tied to it. And I don't know if it's just that Jace thought Vermax was stronger and would be able to fly with that thing, but it's only because Baylor cut them loose that they were able to get away from that. So I was looking at it like, okay, I know that that's how Jace dies in the story, in the book. So when Baylor cut him free, I said, okay, this is going to be one of two things. One is they're going to change the way Jace dies. Jace is not going to actually die in this. Or two, they're going to do what The Walking Dead did with Glenn and pull a fake out. This is the Glenn under the dumpster moment.
Yep.
And it'll be later on. So I was like, okay, I think either one of those scenarios I would be okay with. Just I don't want Jason to die in this episode. Then here come Baylor with her bullshit. And it just becomes chaotic. Like we said.
Rhaenyra.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Then here comes Rhaenyra with her bullshit. And it just becomes chaotic, like we mentioned earlier. Sheep Stealer starts firing on the enemy. Then he starts firing on our side. Then he sees the two dragons. He starts chasing after them. And Baylor and Jace are trying to have each other's backs. They're trying to help each other, but at the same time, they're trying to do what they're supposed to do because people are shooting arrows at them. They're shooting these huge arrows from the scorpion at them. It's a lot going on. And Rhaena is only making things worse because Jace and Baylor cannot concentrate on what they're there to do.
Right.
So yeah, again, Baylor kind of leads Sheep Stealer off. Sheep Stealer, I think, gets hit by a couple of arrows and is like, you know what, deuces, I'm out. We're gone. Especially once Rhaena realizes, she was like, that's my sister. No, don't. She's trying to tell Sheep Stealer, no, don't attack. Calm down, whatever. Again, understanding you.
Right.
He's not raised up to obey human commands. But something in him, whether it's he understood her, he was just like, you know what, this is not what I signed up for. He takes Rhaena, he leaves. So then what happens? They go flying, they're trying to set fire. Vermax gets hit again, and this time it's a mortal wound. Vermax can't recover from that because that's the second time you've been hit with one of these big ass arrows with the anchor on it. So Vermax falls into the ocean. Jace is trying to, Vermax, come on. And I saw somebody saying, yo, if you got a dragon that's sinking, you get off the dragon. But this is his dragon. Like Harry Collette said in an interview, they are brothers. Yeah. They're bonded. So it's like he doesn't want to let him go. And then at one point when he realizes Vermax is not getting up, at this point, Vermax is bleeding like heavily.
Yeah, it's a
ready. Yeah, he unhooks himself. He gets off Vermax. Vermax sinks. He finds a plank, but the thing was, you got the boats in the background, you got the arrows. As soon as he grabbed on the plank and his back was to the boats, I just did this. I said, oh my God.
Yeah.
Here we go. First arrow in the back. He turns around. Second arrow in the shoulder. Third arrow in the neck, and he's done. And I was sitting there with my head in my hands, yelling at my TV, even though I knew this was coming.
I mean, yeah.
But I was like, you know what? Rhaenyra is about to have her Daenerys moment. She's burn it all down.
Which I would. At this point, you losing everybody. I probably would just, yeah.
Yeah. But boy, when I tell you, Jace hurts because I love his character, like especially in the show. You don't really get to kind of know him in the book, but in the show, like Harry Collette, who is the actor, he did such a great job. And you fall in love with this character, and now it's like this character is gone. Now Rhaenyra has lost 2 of her sons. Her other 3 sons are in the wind. Oh, y'all just took the leash off.
Yeah.
Y'all about to set her loose.
Yeah.
It's about to be ugly and bloody, and I am here for it.
Let's go. Let's freaking
Let's
go.
fucking go. But I feel like there's something we missed in this episode, but I can't. Yeah, I'm distraught over the whole Jace thing.
Yeah. I feel
And
like we covered everything.
yeah. So 7 more episodes. We got to see how bad it's about to be. It's about to get really ugly.
Yeah.
And
It's gonna be good though.
it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. So rest in peace, Jace. You and Vermax deserved better.
I know. I ain't gonna lie, I wasn't super attached to Jace, but when that dragon went under, I was done.
It was
When
it
the
was
dragon
like
died,
it was
I was
like
done.
watching Viserion again.
Carry on. I know. I
Go
know.
under the water, and I see what some people have said. They were like, you know what? They said Jace, he fought like a Targaryen. He had the courage of a strong, or it might have been, yeah, he had the courage of a strong and died in the sea like a Valarian. They said that for both him and Lucerys. And I was just like, you know what? I'm done with y'all. I'm done with the internet.
Oh,
Y'all
that's so
just,
sad. That's sad.
anyway, do you have any final thoughts about this episode besides the fact that Rhaena just need to be gone? Hide, bitch, hide.
Run for your life, bitch.
Run.
Nah, I
Run,
think I'm
Forrest,
good. I
run.
think we got it. We covered it. Yep. I can't wait for this season. I can't wait to discuss more and see how things go.
Oh, we know it's about to be bloody. It's about to be
Yep.
bloody. But you know what? I'm here for it. Team Black all the way, especially
Woo.
now.
Let's
Rhaenyra,
go.
give them what's coming to them. So, on that note, that is it for our show. You can find us online at www.fandomhybrid.com. We are on social media, on all the social media at Fandom Hybrid. You can chat with us on our Discord channel. You can watch our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can listen to us on all major podcast streaming platforms. Thanks for listening. We hope you join the conversation next time.